Well, hello everyone, and you know I say it every week. It's Monday. Why? Because you see me, and it's time for Monday Word. And oh boy, do we have an awesome segment for you today. Shaun Bradley is in the house. Hey, Shaun. Hey,
How you
hey, how are
doing?
you?
Good, good. How you doing?
Look at that beautiful smile of yours. And Shaun is coming to us all the way from Korea today. Oh my goodness. What part of Korea are you in?
South Korea, kind of central area, Camp Hump, just to be exact.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, we're going to jump right into the interview. Let me pray first, bring some energy into the room. So I usually ask all of our guests to just take a moment and breathe. Yeah.
Yes.
Because right now it's, woo, y'all got COVID over there?
It's not too bad.
Not
It's
too
not
bad.
too bad. I think we have upwards of 300 to 400,
Oh,
but for the entire country, so
okay. Now that's not too bad. All right.
it's not
All
too
right.
bad compared to the states right now.
So, Heavenly Father, thank you again for this day. Thank you for waking us up. Thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for the reconnection of old friends, bringing that good spirit and energy back together, just so we can talk about what's good, what's not good, how life can go. We just appreciate the opportunity to walk this earth. We are sending special prayers again for our brothers and sisters that are suffering from COVID, those who have died, the 200 and what are we now, 75,000 Americans that have lost their lives. We pray, Lord, for the patience and the peace to get through this transition of power so that the lives can be front and center into how we care in this nation. Thank you, Father, for everything, for breath. Amen.
Amen.
hmm So,
Mm.
Shaun Bradley. Okay, so first I have to say to our viewers that I got to Shaun because Shaun and Mamie are best friends, and so Mamie, I told Mamie, and you met her before, viewers in episode 4 or 5, and so I said I sure would like to talk to Shaun. And so Mamie said, I'll find him for you. I get it from you. Don't worry, Miss Melanie. And so here you are. How are you today, hun? It's so
I'm
good to
doing
see
well.
you.
I'm doing well.
And why are you in
Yes, yes.
Korea?
And I'm in the military, in the army,
Okay.
so I'm stationed here for a year.
You're in the art. What branch?
The army.
Are you in the army? Okay. And what made you do that? Because I know. Let's see. First of all, I'm remembering you came from California, so that was my
Yes,
territory
ma'am.
for recruitment. And so I
hmm
recruited you to PLU. Now you're here at PLU. I mean, you came through PLU. Now you in Korea. I know we didn't
Now
talk
they
about military.
No, it kind of just it was always been a thought in the back of my mind. You know, my dad served, my dad's dad, my mom's dad, so it was kind of in the back of my mind all this time. And one day I decided to take that step, talk to the recruiter, and now here I am.
And how long has that been?
3.5 years.
Whoa, what's your rank?
E5. I'm a sergeant.
Okay, that means you're in charge of some people. You leading people,
Just a
right?
little bit. Yes, ma'am.
What do you have, like a squad or a battalion? I mean, who you in charge of?
Just a team, so a
Got a
few
team?
guys.
hmm
hmm
But that's
So
leadership, hon. You know, so they're
yes,
watching
ma'am.
you. They're gonna take your lead, and so that could be something that you learned a little bit about at PLU. Yeah, leadership.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. Leadership was the forefront of my experience at PLU. Whether it's different aspects, I held quite a few hats while I was at PLU, so all of those different positions helped me
hmm
get to where I am today. So
Mm. Well, let me just lean in and just drop the mic on this one because you played football while you was at PLU.
yes, my
hmm
first 2 years.
Okay, so tell me about that e-mall stuff because that became such a big firestorm on campus where you Were you a part of the emo culture? You remember that one,
So
Every Man a Loop?
every man a loop. Yes. So I came to PLU and we started off hot, 2 days for football. Everything was going pretty well. Um, and the email, every man a loop. I'm not gonna talk bad about it. It's just something that it was different for me coming from a different culture as far as the football culture. Coming from California, it was just very different. The way that their philosophy of playing football, the philosophy of the coach at the time, how he coached, um, and so it was just very different, hard to kind of wrap my mind around. So I didn't fully buy into the process.
Mhm.
So that first year went by, um, and I came back to California for summer, gearing up, getting ready for the next season. And to preface this, I had dreadlocks prior to coming to PLU. So this
You
was
did.
already a thing that I wanted to commit to. Um, it was a cultural thing for me. It wasn't a style. It wasn't a, I'm just going to do it because it looks good. It was very cultural for me. So the second year comes by and I come in, we're getting ready for summer practice, and the coach pulls me into his office and we were talking for a few minutes and then he had mentioned my hair. Um, and he said, I thought I asked you to cut your hair prior to coming back. And I told him that wasn't the conversation prior to me leaving, because if that was the case, if he did want me to cut my hair, I wouldn't have come back. I wouldn't have wasted my time playing football because this is more important to me. And so it turned into a huge deal. Um, I couldn't play, couldn't practice, and yeah, that was sort of the end of my football career. Um, and then that spring, I had went out for track and joined the track team. So that's how I still stuck with my sports. I did track in high school as well, so it wasn't kind of a fallback. It was more so I can focus more on that. And the culture there was just so more inviting, more welcoming. Um, I was able to be myself, keep my hair, and that was the most important thing to me, because I understand the the camaraderie of football, the togetherness, the uniformity, so to speak. But at PLU, it was a little more um, conforming, more than uniformity. Um, and to differentiate the two, conforming is we have to do this because that's just what we do. Um, Everybody needs to look the same, dress the same, act the same, be the same. Whereas uniformity is we can all come together with all of our differences to become one. And that's what I felt. I felt more of the conformity versus the uniformity. So that's also another thing that really tied into my decision to, one, not cut my hair, and two, not step back into the program or fight to be back in the program,
Mhm.
because I knew it wasn't going to change under the coach at the time.
Mhm.
And so,
So I want to say that, okay, well, first of all, thank you for sharing because you're a legend at PLU. I'm telling you, people have heard, what did you hear about when they football asked them to cut his dreadlocks? Because I just want to go back
mm,
to that moment when it was brought to me, right? And
yeah,
I had been to PLU maybe 5 years, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, but just the whole conversations at that time when you talk about race and equity and inclusion and multicultural stuff, it wasn't as welcoming. It's still like under. the surface, even though that was our job. But
Right.
auntie, when they brought that to me, you know good well,
Yes.
Miss Melanie went
Mhm.
off. Yes, I did. I went off. And I'm going to
Yeah.
say that I give honor to our athletic director,
Yes,
who has
yes.
just passed, retired, Lori Turner.
Miss Laura Turner.
Yeah, Miss
Yes.
Lori Turner, and I'm gonna make sure that she gets a chance to have this. But Lori Turner was
Mhm.
like, "Oh,
Yes, yes.
yes, yes, oh, no, 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 no. You still, I mean, there was an opportunity, if I remember, for it to be rethought, but you was already done with that, right? I mean, you had just said,
Correct, right.
I ain't trying to go back there. No, y'all deal with that.
Mhm. Yeah, because as soon as we had that conversation in his office, I went I think I pondered on it for a few days, just really I felt a lot of hate during that time as well,
Yep, it's
and
real.
I spoke with yes, I spoke with, Miss Angie Hambrick in, the Diversity Center,
That's right.
and we had a few conversations about what it meant, how I felt. I went to counseling for a little bit because, like I said, that hate was way too much for me to even comprehend or to handle or to wrap my mind around. We had some conversations. Um, Miss Lori Turner,
Yes.
the former athletic director, Miss Jen Thomas. She
Oh,
was,
yes.
I believe, the assistant
So
to Miss Lori Turner.
Jen is the
Hmm.
athletic director now.
Oh,
Yes.
wow! I haven't been keeping up,
Yeah, she's
but
our
yes.
interim, I think, interim in athletic director. But yeah, she's at the
Hmm.
helm. Yeah, child. Mm.
Yes, yes. And so it was. There was a lot of people who helped me get it together during that time. So I
Amen.
just want to thank everybody that was a part of that because that was a dark time. I was hard.
All right. And now you back to tell about it. How about that?
Yes,
You know,
yes.
you get to come
Mhm,
back around. It's hard going through sometimes, but if you trust God, He will just make a way, and eventually you get to have your word. And
mhm,
I'm grateful for it to be here at this on this platform. It's different now. We have a new coach. We have new program,
mhm.
new kind of philosophy. Folks are um, uniform, to use your
Yeah.
word. They are
Mhm.
uniform. It's not the conform. So
Right.
that is really awesome. So now let's talk to me about your academic journey, because you kind of just yeah, 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 because
Mhm.
there's not a class of that I can put at the
Right.
end of on class of, because you haven't graduated
Mhm.
yet. um
Correct.
and so we're not saying that like, oh my God, because vocation is something that you find, and eventually you'll get there. So let's talk
Mhm.
about your journey, your academic journey, and then when you said, okay, I gotta take a break, I'm not, what was that discernment?
So, um, my first year was was not good to say the least, academic wise. I didn't really study in high school. Um, just kind of prepare the day prior to tests or exams, and fortunately, I scored well enough. Um, and my GPA in high school got me to PLU with some help. But in college, it was a totally different atmosphere because you don't have six or seven different teachers. Um, you don't have really a set schedule until you're actually in it. That first year, I took three classes for the fall and the winter, or in the spring, and one during J term. and you have so much time to yourself that I didn't take the advantage of using that time wisely. Uh, Hung out and didn't really do what I was supposed to do, didn't take care of what I needed to take care of. And so that was my first year. Second year, did a little better. And then I get a little confused. I think it was my third year. I had to take a break um, because of my GPA. So I took three and four, year three and year four off, came back for year five, and I did better during year five, um, GPA wise, but still didn't really have a solid foundation for studying, for preparing, for setting myself up for success academically. So that's why I'm in the predicament I'm in now. I have 100, I believe, in 21 credits with only a capstone and a philosophy class left.
What you
So,
waiting on? What you waiting on? I
yes.
think you
So
can
the
do it
plan is
online now.
yes, yes.
We got all the online courses right now. Can you just get it done?
Mhm.
What's your
Yeah,
plan?
so I'm
What's your plan? You got a plan?
my
This Miss Melanie going into, you know how we do. What's your plan?
mhm. Yes, ma'am. So the plan is by next fall I'll be enrolling for those last two classes.
Right. And then you will
That
graduate.
is my plan. Yes.
Now,
Sooner, hopefully, but at l- at the latest fall of 2021.
so when you get your degree, do you get to be an officer?
I would have to apply. It's an application process. So just putting together some documents. They call it a packet. So you have your degree, pretty much your credentials, and the why we should
Hmm.
accept you into the officer corps, so to speak.
Okay. So look now, hmm, what is there anything that you hold on to that you got from PLU that is of value in your job now?
Yes, leadership is definitely one of the key and they say that NCOs are the backbone of the army, meaning that we hold everything together. We enforce standards, um, and we lead by example. And
Hmm.
so that's something that I definitely learned at PLU. Um, Whether it's in sports, with track and field, I was a captain, so I had to lead by example. Um, be at practice, show up, be in the weight room, lead my teammates, uh, getting everybody on the same page, whether that's through the Red Carpet Club, um,
That's
hosting
right.
students. Yes,
I forgot you was with the Red Carpet Club. I don't think we call
yes,
that it.
that
We don't
was
call it that anymore. But
okay.
yes.
That was probably the um, most leadership driven position at PLU that I held.
Hmm.
Just because you are hosting prospective students, you are minus their career counselor or their admissions counselor. You are their first impression as a student that is at the school, and it was never scripted. I was never told to, hey, say this and not do that. We hosted lunches with the students and their families, sometimes large groups of students. We took them around campus, did tours, and a lot of families asked me, what is your perspective of PLU? What is how do you like it? What are the good, the bad? And I told them from personal experience all the good and all the bad.
Mhm.
Um, and a lot of students who I hosted um, brought on lunches or took a tour around actually came to PLU, and we've talked, and they've always told me, uh, I remember you. You were my tour guide, and one of my track mates. She actually came onto a lunch. I think it was a recruiting. I can't remember what the event was, but her dad, and her mom came, and I think her brother. And every time I saw her dad at a track meet, 3, 4 years later, he would always say, "Hey, you were the tour guide. I really liked you." And yeah, so that was some of the things that I took and incorporated into my life.
Mm,
Um, always stay in the course, and so
yeah. So you remember that word vocation we talked a lot about while you were there, right?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
So are you living that now, or what? What is your what are your thoughts about vocation as you're living your life right now?
I think I'm still finding it. I don't think I found it yet, but I think I'm getting into the the process, and making sure that I find what I am called to do.
Hmm.
Um, and I believe that you can actually have multiple um, callings in life.
Oh,
I feel like there's not just that one,
you're right.
and sometimes it's broken down into phases of your life. And I believe in this phase of my life, this is what I am called to do currently, is to serve in the serve in the military. And so yeah, I believe I am living it out.
You're on the path. You're open
Yes,
to opportunities. Yeah.
correct,
Yeah. How
correct.
old are you now?
I'm 27. Yes, I'm getting old. Getting old.
Oh, oh, gee. I mean, every time I have these interviews, like I interviewed Mamie a few weeks ago, and, she's got a child, and, here you
Hmm.
are in Korea in the military leading. I mean, I've got my young people in Las Vegas. They found love at PLU, married, have their children. I mean, this is such a
Hmm.
rewarding so what I say is, as my vocation is described, this is it. This is
Hmm.
it right here. Having you come back and tell me all this good stuff and your reflective thought. Um,
Yes.
you know,
Hmm.
oh, it just warms my heart. So, one last question: are there any professors or staff members, team members that you want to shout out that had an impact that you could remember? I mean, some may still be there, but it's always good to let people know when they're doing the right thing, so that we can do
Yes.
more of it.
Yes. I believe she's retired now, Miss Bonnie Atwood. She
Ooh,
was, yes,
yes.
yes. When I had a lot of financial trouble, um, she took time out of her day to assist me in one, knowing all of the steps to get additional aid as far as scholarships, loans, all of that good stuff. So she was a huge help, huge help. Um, like we spoke previously about Miss Lori Turner, Miss Jen Atwood, or Miss Jen Thomas. Um, huge, huge help. Um, Heather Career, she was the track coach during my time at PLU, and she was definitely one of those people who, after the whole football incident, really took me in and really talked to me about what it means to to go through that. And so she was a huge help. Um, Professors, Dr. Sid Olaf, I believe he's retired as well, an economics professor. He, we had a lot of conversations in his office, just talking about, all of the. He was my capstone professor prior to me leaving PLU, but just really a wealth of knowledge, giving me a lot of resources to look at, um, and so he definitely was a huge help in my academic career.
I'ma just say Sid Olaf is legit, hun. You know,
Yes,
he's just
yes,
ah!
hmm,
That's so
yeah,
awesome. Man, yeah, and see, when people have an impact
um,
on your life, you'll remember them, you know? You will
hmm,
remember them, you will carry them through, and you remember the good more than the bad, you just try to if you get to that mindset. Um, this has
yes, and
been
then
powerful.
two others.
2 others,
Um,
okay,
yes, Miss Angie Hambrick.
that's it.
She was the cornerstone of my experience at PLU, exploring anything and everything about race, um, going on the Students of Color retreat.
Mhm.
Oh man, that was very eye opening to say the least. And all of the staff that were involved in the diversity center. Names are drawing a blank on me right now. Miss Sarah Lloyd, she was also a part of that. And then you, of course, Miss Melanie Cunningham. You you were there when I didn't have my stuff together, for lack of better words. Um, you got me to PLU, and just conversing, all of the conversations that we had, um, keeping it real, 100%,
100.
no matter what. That's something that I took, um, that I got from you. Is just always, you don't have to be fake. You don't have to hold your breath or hold your tongue. Just be yourself, and everything will be everything. So that's definitely something that I'm thankful for.
Oh, honey, I'm misty. I can't cry too hard because my lashes might come off. But I mean, this is everything to be able to pour into young people's lives and live long enough for them to tell you you made a difference. Okay. I mean,
Mhm.
thank you. Thank you. And then let
Thank
me
you.
say,
Thank you.
thank you for your service. You're out here protecting us in the world. And oh, I'm
I
crying.
appreciate that.
Oh, my goodness. But I'm so proud of you. Now, we
Thank
can
you.
pinky swear, right? You getting that degree?
I'm getting
Okay. All right.
it.
You got to claim it because we need you out there leading and serving. And should you discern to be an officer, then, you go forth and take on those higher responsibilities. I grew up in a military family. My father is a retired Army pilot, warrant officer, chief warrant officer. And so
Hmm.
I am grateful to the Army. You know, that's
Yes.
that's my roots. So
Hmm.
okay, now I'm just gonna get a little nosy. You in a relationship or I'm not gonna get what you married?
Man.
Huh?
3 years.
You been oh, I missed that news.
Hmm.
Well, good.
Yes, I've been. I've been off social media a lot lately, but I do have. So I have my wife, I have my son, my daughter, and our other son's gonna be born in January.
All this news. Okay. Well, all right. I'm loving that right there. Okay, Dad. I see. Now that
It
right
is
there is the
the
cherry on
greatest
top.
responsibility. Yeah,
Huh?
the greatest responsibility.
Oh,
Being a husband and a father, that's something that I thought would never happen, but it is very blessing. A blessing to be a part of that, to have that responsibility, to be in that role.
oh man. You see what you done did? You made me, I'm just crying. These are happy tears to hear all that news. Oh, I love you.
Yes, I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, we just gonna leave it right there. Viewers, we'll see you next week. God bless you and peace.
All right.